Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I just realized that I forgot to film an intro for this video, so I'm just going to do a voiceover for it. This is my first YouTube video, so I hope you can like and subscribe and turn on your post notifications because I will be posting more makeup tutorials. So if you want to see how I got this blue silver smoky eye look, keep watching. So here I had already prepped my eyes. I just used a concealer to prime them. And I'm using the 39L Hit the Lights palette from Morphe. I'm going to be taking this blue shade to right next to the pink. And I am going to be taking that as my transition color. I want to focus it higher than my crease because I do have a very small crease, very small eyelids. So I want to make sure I focus it a little bit higher for that color to be seen. So now I decided to go into the James Charles times Morphe palette, and I took another blue shade from the palette. And I am going to focus that a little lower than I placed that first blue color, just going in a back and forth motion, trying to define my crease with it. I decided to start with very light blue and deepen it up as I go so that it can just be easier to blend and the colors can all just blend together more seamlessly instead of going in with a darker color and having a really hard time to blend it out. Most of my look is just defining that first blue transition color, going in with a little darker and a little darker each time. Again, I'm going in a back and forth motion, and I also focus it on my outer V. After blending those colors in and packing them onto my eyelid, I decided to take a more fluffy brush just to blend those out so I wouldn't have such a harsh look. Okay, so I went back into my James Charles palette, chose that blue color right next to the first one that I used, and I'm bringing it even closer to my crease. I am focusing this one a little more on the outer part of my eye, on the V shape, I guess. So yeah, first I pack it onto the outside, on the outer corner of my eye, and then once I am done packing it onto there, I still bring it into my inner crease just to define my crease because I am going to be cutting the crease at the end. I then took another little fluffy brush that I already have some blue shadow that I did from a different look. So I decided to use that to blend these colors out, and since it did have some of that blue tint color to it, I wasn't over blending my eyeshadow out. After each eyeshadow, each different color that I was putting on my eyelids, I made sure to blend it out because I didn't want a chalky, harsh look. So now I went back into my James Charles palette and I took a deeper blue shade that is below those colors. Most of the shades that I used are in the James Charles palette, and I made sure to focus this again on my outer V, and whatever I had left from my brush I put it into my inner crease, and I did the same thing to the other eye, just really making sure I'm packing that color in just to define the whole look. I decided to take a mini fluffy brush, super mini, like almost like a pencil brush, with that same blue shade, just to make sure it's really making a line on my crease to define it. Like I said, I do have a very small crease, and I try my best to define it with each of the colors that I use. And then again, just going in and blending all of those colors in together. I decided that I wanted the look to be a little bit more defined, And since I'm going to be adding silver glitter at the end, I wanted it to pop, so I decided to take this black shade from the James Charles palette, and I packed that onto the outer part of my eyes, because like I said, I am going to be adding that silver look, so I really want it to pop, and I just felt like this was going to define it the best. I packed it on the outer part of my eyes, and again, whatever was left off, I made sure to bring it in just a little bit. I decided to change the brush. I used that small fluffy brush that I used to pack on the blue shade before this one, because the other one wasn't really doing a good job on actually defining it and making sure that the black actually popped up. So I realized that a more fluffy brush was what was helping me really pack it on, and I was able to blend it out better. The color was showing a lot better than with the first brush. Again, just blending those colors out till my arms fall off. So now I am cutting the crease. I use the Rimmel London Stay matte in the shade Ivory. I really like this concealer to get the crease because it is matte, so it doesn't just run all over the place when I'm trying to cut my crease, and I really like the way it sets. After I was done cutting the crease, I took that little fluffy brush that I used with the black shade to clean it up, and then a blending brush, again just defining that cut crease. Okay, and now I went into the James Charles palette, took that white shade and just added that on my eyelids. Sorry, forgot what it was called for a second. On my eyelids. And I just used that so it can clean up and I can have a clean canvas for the next color. So now I went back into the 39 Now Hit the Lights palette. At first I was going to take this white shade with a flat brush, but then I decided that I was going to use that silver shade right next to the actual glitter shade that I'm going to be using after this. So I just packed that onto my eyelids. I use this as a base because, like I said, I'm going to be using that silver pigment. So when you just put it onto your eyelids, I feel like it looks very weird because you just have emptiness under it. So this is really just the base for that. And this is where I took the glitter, the pressed glitter, I guess you can say that, and began to pack it onto my eyelids. This is the shade that made the whole look pop. I really like this palette because it has all of these pressed glitters, and I've never really dared to use glitter on my eyes because glitter usually just makes a mess, and I really like this palette because you don't even have to use any glue or anything. You just pack it onto your eyes, and it is such a pretty look. Okay, I went in with the Revlon Super Skinny Eyeliner. I really like this eyeliner because, the description, it is a super skinny. So like I've said a couple of times, I have very small eyelids, so I don't like to do a very huge eyeliner. I like a very thin line because if I do a very thick line, it might just run onto my crease, or you just can't see it when I open my eyes. So I really enjoy using this eyeliner, and like I said, it's really easy to work with, gives you such a sharp defined look. I hope you guys enjoyed my little mini tutorial. This is my first YouTube video, so again, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really love the way this look came out. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel because I will be posting more makeup tutorials. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram. I will be linking all of my socials down in the description below. And here's a little recording of me feeling myself.